What's going on, everyone? This is Dom here. I got, as you know, Joe over here, and we got a special guest today, my good friend Kyle.
What up? I'm Kyle.
Yeah, he's going to be interesting to listen to. This is episode 3 of the Completing the Circuit podcast. Today we're talking Samsung, so we're going to be covering some of the stuff we're hoping to see in the upcoming, Galaxy Unpacked event?
That's right.
On August 5th.
August 5th.
We're going to cover a bunch of other Samsung stuff too. We did Apple for the first episode, so we kind of want to balance it out, right? We can only suck up to Apple for so long before people will hate us. So, all right. To get things off, we're going to add a little new kind of segment to the podcast. We're going to go over the news of the week since the last episode. And I'm going to start things off with that Twitter hack.
So
did you hear about it?
I was there, not blue checkmark myself, of course, but all of the people I follow were suddenly silent for hours. And then I was just kind of curious about why people would even think that it was legitimate, sending money to somebody else to double your money.
Yeah. Joe, you don't use a whole lot of Twitter. I remember telling you about it.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat with Kyle, though.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't send. I looked at it because Elon Musk's talking about sending me money. It's like, well, I'm going to click it.
Yeah, you can't help it.
Once I looked, I'm like, what is all this?
Yeah.
And then you realize quickly it's a scam. But there was some, I don't know. I think this is going to change a lot of stuff. I think now there's going to be a bunch of, because they've been talking about, at a political level, they've been talking about, what's it called? What are those things people hate? The regulations on social media platforms. Mm-hmm. The FBI is currently investigating this Twitter hack. Because there was some potential political damage that could have been done. I mean, all it was $100,000. In retrospect, not a lot of money, but
right. If they had gotten hold of senators and said instead of asking for money, like, oh, by the way, vote for my opponent.
Right. Or uploading
the next race.
Or uploading deep fakes of them doing things that nobody wants to see. So, there was there was a lot there. So it'll be interesting to see where the story goes. We'll probably kind of update
for sure
the podcast as it goes on. I don't know. I know this was kind of just happened, and we don't really know anything about it. So,
well, it's interesting though because they were able to shut down all the blue check marks like that, but they can't shut down Nazis.
Yeah,
because of obviously free speech reasons.
Yeah.
But it's like you already know who you can target.
Right.
Yeah, and there's oh my god, if you look at the trending topics under that, like. What people are saying to Jack Dorsey, I think is the founder of right. He's saying, we're looking into it. This is crazy thing, and you see just all this hate group stuff. Why did it only affect these people? Why did it only affect these people? People are going to turn this into a way bigger deal than it's a big deal because of the implications of people that you like and trust. Words coming out of their mouths that they didn't actually say.
Right.
That's the big deal, not whether or not. Hillary's evil or something, So that's all I got for that one. I don't know. We'll I guess we'll keep talking about this as time goes on. Mm-hmm. Joey, what you got for me? You got any stories of the week?
Kinda. It's ties in with technology a little bit. Amazon is releasing their own shopping carts.
Yes.
Wait, like a physical shopping cart?
Yes. So what's happening is that now what they're doing is you can load up a cart, right? And instead of going to a cashier or anything, you could pay your grocery stuff at the cart. You just put a card in, and then it's done.
Right on the cart.
Right on the cart, and then you can go.
Interesting.
That's it. So, Dom, we talked about this, and you brought up a very good point. It actually helps people. It's nice for people that either, they don't want something, they can easily put it back and don't have to do that awkward,
between the Monster Energy drinks and the Reese's Cups thing.
I'm
going to put this loaf of bread right here.
Yes.
Those sprees look good, though. I think $1.29. I'll take a roll of those.
But then this also helps people because, I'm sure all of you guys have seen this where family goes in and they get their grocery stuff and then they find out they're not able to afford everything, and that's a nice thing that where they can actually put stuff back discreetly and no one would they don't want to feel judged.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to help a lot.
Now, how do you think that plays into the Whole Foods where you can just walk in, grab something, and walk out, and it knows who you are and charges your account appropriately? Or is it more like the cart is for the bigger stores?
I don't know if they're doing this for all stores. There wasn't much information for what stores are getting these carts. There just was the information of they're coming out with their own shopping carts.
Right on.
If I had to guess, with Amazon and Jeff Bezos being who he is, it'd be store wide. I guess you want to say it won't be just certain stores. I mean, why not?
Walmart.
Yeah, why not?
And it's going to be just Bezos approved.
I mean, obviously, it's going to be
face on
obviously it's going to be one of those things. Is what stores? The stores have to buy them, so it's honestly up to them.
Yeah,
who's going to carry those carts?
Yeah, and you know what? They'll probably end up doing is, since you have to pay digitally, they'll probably have to sign up or some other data tracking thing, and they're going to turn it into, okay, yeah, sure, we'll take that. You mean we don't have to pay cashiers? And I'm assuming they obviously know all the security concerns, right? Because if everyone looks the same with a shopping cart, whether they paid or not, how do you know who's paid? So whatever, assuming they got the security figured out, you get data. Yeah. And you don't have to pay employees.
Right.
Yeah, why not? It's a win-win.
That's interesting. You got to be 21 or over to use the cart, maybe?
Oh, yeah. How do you deal with liquor?
Load up
I'm
my
sure
16-year-old.
Yeah. I wonder if, I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can think of is if it's liquor, the cart might have a thing where it alerts someone, just like how we have self-checkout.
Yeah.
You scan it, what happens? The thing starts blinking and someone has to go over there and look at your ID and it scans. I wonder if maybe the cart will have something like that. Or maybe you can't buy alcohol with that cart. Yeah,
maybe you still have to bring it to a traditional cash register. But I mean, I'm assuming alcohol sales don't compute to like the rest of the food at typical grocery stores. So it's probably not a big deal. And if you go to a liquor store, you know what you're trying to get. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll also be great because one of my biggest pains at the grocery store is I'm taking my stuff out of the cart one at a time at the self-checkout. Scan. I have to put it on the scale.
Yeah.
And when it comes time to pay, I'm like, okay, button, and done.
Yeah.
I can't just.
So it'll be faster too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you have and you won't have to be yelled at by a thing that says, "Please put it back on the scale." Please put it back on the scale. It's like,
ding! Yeah. Unexpected item in the basket.
Right. So that's gonna be huge. I think. That'll be nice.
Yeah, it'll make Bezos richer, but at this point, we might as well just embrace.
I mean, we already
our Lord.
Yeah, our Lord. I mean, one store I pretty much guarantee is going to have is Kohl's, because Kohl's has the Amazon return.
Oh, they already have that penetration into Kohl's. Yeah, I could see that. So
I bet you Kohl's will be either one of the first stores to have those cards.
Yeah. I don't know. I read Kohl's isn't doing so well right now. I'm assuming COVID and clothes.
People are just wearing the same raggedy clothes
people can.
All day.
Yeah. So I went into Kohl's not too long ago because I had to return something, and
I am.
And
hey, I like Kohl's. Don't judge it. I love Kohl's.
The store had quite a few people. And what happens? So you have to enter from the basement, or not the basement, but the bottom part of the store. You can't go on top.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the Kohl's in Butterfield.
Yeah.
What is the split level?
Yeah. So you have to go down level first. You go in, then you can go, if you wanted to go upstairs, you can use the escalators to go upstairs.
Or you can go into the front too. On the other side of the building, there's...
Right, but no, they won't allow you.
Oh, not anymore?
You have to go into the bottom.
Oh, for COVID times, right? I forget about that.
You have to do the bottom.
It's sad.
For right now.
Oh.
But when I was in there, what I was getting at is when I was in there, there was quite a few people, actually, there. So, I mean, every store, if you think about it, every store is right now being affected.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see how many new innovations in the tech world will come out to respond to this. I know internet service providers are responding to this. You have Zoom that is now overnight $1 billion company, basically, or right?
Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't want to cut you off, but speaking of internet providers, Comcast and AT&T have now taken back the unlimited cap.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they took it back starting July.
Yeah,
I got the notice. They boosted it by 20%, which gives me 200 extra gigs. But that's one of these podcasts.
There's no longer unlimited for everybody.
That's incredible.
So
I don't know. I took advantage of it while it was free.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, if you can do $30 a month extra on your internet bill, I would say you do. Especially if you are, I mean, Dom. I'm sure Kyle, you stream at home.
You got Comcast. It's a Comcast thing now. You can do $30 and get unlimited.
Pretty much 24/7. I'm streaming something because of the kids.
Yeah. That's got to be. Ooh, your data must be astronomical. What's your highest? I'm 2.8 terabytes in 1 month.
I haven't checked. I just sort of let it go and.
It'll put him over his data cap.
You're right. I can't spend the 82 kilobytes to look at the number.
Because what happens is that's how they make even more money off. So you pay $30 a month to get unlimited. But if you don't do that and you go over, they charge you. It's
$10 every 50 gigs.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you're not paying attention.
Oh yeah. It'll kill you.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point. I'm currently scheduled to be unlimited, but I might be kicked downward from that, right?
It's possible. It's very possible. I know that they give you 2 free months per year or per 12-month period.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they'll give you two whatever graceful overages, whatever the term is for that. And then they're gonna get you for the exactly.
See that, and I don't mean to go off a little tangent here, but one thing I will have to say, internet companies need to just give us the unlimited and stop doing these internet caps. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You charge us enough. Why do it? Especially if you're doing gig speed internet, shouldn't that be automatically come with free?
If you're paying for the top tier, have that be an incentive, and you need it too because you'll go through data cap. When LTE came out, I remember I burned my data.
We're getting to the point where internet service is almost like a basic human right, like water service.
Yeah. And that's why the whole net neutrality thing has been such a big. I mean, that's been such a big thing because you fundamentally need it. I mean, I don't even think you can get most jobs without having a smartphone.
Right.
I wonder what happened after Ajit Pai made that change, or because his name has been out of the news cycle.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, he's been staying quiet. The FCC guy's been staying quiet with his oversized Reese's muck. Yeah, muck to him. That too. I don't know if you've seen that. He has a massive. It's like a liter for coffee. Yeah, Reese's peanut butter cup.
Didn't Saturday Night Live?
John Oliver.
Yeah.
He made fun of that. So that he has a lot of words for them. So anyway, I don't know any other stories this week. I mean, that's all I got. I know this is kind of a new segment, so we'll slowly get better at it as time goes on.
I'm good. Kyle, do you have anything for that?
Anything fun you heard this week?
Funyuns. No.
Funyuns.
What have I heard this week? Help me out. I don't know.
I got nothing. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, this is new and it's all, Kyle's new to this whole thing. So don't just ignore him. It'll be, don't ignore him, but ignore him. Anyway, so on to the segue. This is not for a sponsor. I wish it was sponsored by Kohl's or something, but it's not. So yes, the upcoming Galaxy Unpacked event where they will announce the Galaxy S20 Note Ultra 2.0 5G Plus Max.
Lots of words. Yeah, the wordy phones is getting annoying. But Samsung does do a lot of other stuff. Their phones kind of being the primary thing. I mean, Apple's now primarily, that's most of their profits is from their iPhones. So I figure we'll start talking about past phones, current phones, new phones, and just kind of let things go where they got to go. So what have we heard? I've seen the copper color. So I don't know if you've seen that. So it's like I got this guy here. So I have from a work phone, I have what is this? Note 10 Plus 5G.
That's a reflective rainbow style.
Yes, and that was the real major selling point. I was initially going to get another iPhone, but then I saw the glow, and it just like a bug zapper. I had to have it. And okay, and it's been pretty nice. I'm going to be doing a review on the main YouTube channel on this guy very soon. So that's what I got now, and so this rainbow color, this aura glow, whatever you want to call it, they're doing they have like a copper one. I don't know if they're keeping this one. I just saw some renders of a copper, which looks really cool. It's like an inky metal copper look. It's got the mega super big camera bump from what was their most recent phone? The S20?
The S20 is the one that's coming out.
No, the standard S. So they have like Galaxy S8. So this is the Note.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the Note 20.
I believe it's the S20.
It's the S20, yeah, where it has that big, massive kit. It's like 108 megapixels, something like that. So it's got that. It's obviously going to have a pen. A Note without a pen is...
And a great battery, supposedly.
Yeah, so you were reading something about that. What did you find?
60. So they were saying it looks like it's 6,500 milliwatts.
Milliamp hours?
Or milliamp hours. Yeah. Sorry, not milliwatts. Wow. what they're saying this battery is supposed to do is supposed to outperform the iPhone battery
By how much?
drastically.
Is there like a percentage figure, like drastically,
They didn't
like
say
6 years?
there
or-
was no. They didn't say percentage.
Oh,
no,
that's annoying.
unfortunately.
I'm sure they will though.
Yeah, but they're saying that this will actually outdo the iPhone's battery, which is good. If that is true, it's the first time in Android history.
Yeah,
That's probably something that they were specifically aiming for. Like, all right, how can we pack more battery into this thing?
yeah,
Right.
because you're on iPhone now. So Kyle,
I am.
little backstory. Yeah, Kyle was a big time Android user, and then he's finally switched over to the. I'm not going to say dark side or light side. I don't know what they are. They're just progressive, I guess, with dark and light. Bad joke. So now you're full on iPhone. Which one do you have?
I've got the iPhone XR.
You got a 10R. Does it have one camera lens or?
One camera.
Okay, so you got a 10R. When did you get that guy?
Where did I get it? I got it from
When?
When? I got this just a few months ago because my contract was up and I was like, all right, let's get a new one.
What'd you have before that one?
The 7.
Oh, you had a 7? Okay. So now that you've made the switch, what do you think comparing the two since you've had it for a while?
So the swipe gestures are interesting as opposed to having a button. I dearly miss my button.
You like
my
physical
button.
buttons?
I do.
Yeah.
Even without the tactile, I like having that circular thing that my thumb can just rest on. I'm adrift in a sea of screen here.
Yeah, it is a lot. So you got, I don't know if you've seen one of these guys. So this is the Note 10. So they're doing the same thing. It's just all screen now.
All screen.
And so I think, right, everyone's all about the getting rid of the bezels type
Mhm.
thing and getting his best screen to body ratio. But I'll tell you this, the iPhone 11, I don't know what the ratio is.
So I don't want to cut you off, but
Yeah,
the
no, you're
bezel thing of the Galaxy I had, the S8, that was actually kind of annoying because in a lot of ways, in order to get the apps to turn off, I
Mhm.
needed to go all the way to the edge of the bezel, and it was.
Oh, yeah. So it was like taxing on your hand type thing? Because you had a Note before. Oh, no, you had an S8 before, right? You said, okay. So this guy has such extreme bezels that if I'm watching YouTube or something, I basically need the phone to fly because any little, they put sensors capacity on the curved edges here.
Yeah.
So Joe, you have the same phone. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. Like it looks pretty, but Steve Jobs said a long time ago with the iPad, the reason that there's bezels on it so you could hold it with your, or at least I think he said that. I don't know. Maybe that was my assumption, but they had big bezels so you could hold the thing. Right now everything's so bezel-less, your hand set it off. That's been my experience with this.
If you notice with that phone too, what's annoying is when you're holding it, let's say, because I know especially when I play games on the phone, any part of the skin of the phone or skin of your hand that goes onto the phone, it could be a little tiny part, you don't even realize it, the phone messes up.
It treats it as an input.
Yeah.
Or if you have socks on carpet and you could be like this far away and it's
Just capacitive at a distance.
Yeah.
It's the Harry Potter app. That's funny. Yeah. So that
There's a lot of good ideas out there, but in practice, they may not be the best.
right.
Oh, we're going to coat it with something that is anti-fingerprint so that you never have smudges, but then it slips right through your fingers.
Right. And it's amazing how many little nuanced details you find out in the R&D process. I wish more companies would share that stuff because I think it would shed light as to why they get rid of it. Like, okay, right, they come out and say, we're getting rid of the headphone jack because it uses up too much room. Okay, but it's like, what is your data saying? Like, are people really going to be okay with no headphones? And a lot of people complain about it, but now I see AirPods and wireless earbuds everywhere. So
people made the switch. I guess they called it right.
Yeah.
What the consumers
I don't
are doing.
understand why they don't. I mean, they already have the patents on the stuff, so
for what?
what you were saying, why they to show, tell us there are.
Oh, yeah. It would be
know?
nice. I mean, I would just, I know that when I hear one of the companies talking about, well, in our internal testing, we saw da-da-da-da-da, it's like, oh, you know what? That makes a lot of sense as to why whatever featured X, right? So, I don't know. Maybe that's something somebody needs to try because that would be.
But I have seen a teardown of that phone, the first one that came out without the headphone jack, and the result was that there was plenty of room for a headphone jack.
Yeah, I think they were just following a trend. Are you talking about when they removed it from like one of these or from the iPhone?
From the iPhone, the
From
initial
the
one.
iPhone, they said there was plenty of room. They're probably just doing it to sell AirPods. I mean,
Yep.
that's.
It's competing with Samsung. Samsung is their number one competitor on any other phone. So what they were probably figuring out, and this is just my thinking. I'm not saying this has been reported or anything. This is just the way I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so you took the headphone jack, now you gave us AirPods. Samsung, yeah, and here's the other thing too. Samsung's watches, even though the Apple Watch is doing really good, a lot of people still like Samsung watches.
I don't know, Apple Watch, number one selling smartwatch in the world.
No, I know.
Number one selling watch in the world.
Oh, I know, but for design part of it, the Samsung watches are great.
Yeah, you prefer the circle head. I don't know. Do you have an Apple Watch?
I have an Apple Watch.
What do you like, square or circle? What's your preference?
I actually do like circle.
You like circle better?
So
But
what
I've heard a lot of people say that.
That square is small enough where it's almost like once it's on, I've totally lost
Yeah.
feeling of it. It's fine.
So what I'm trying to get at is, so Apple makes a small change. They get the headphones, and now what Samsung has? They have headphones, but their headphones are not. Their wireless headphones are not as great. Is not as good.
No, they're
AirPods.
they're like luxury.
So that's
knockoffs.
another thing. So that's another thing that Samsung won up on Apple won up on Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the watch, like you said, number one watch in the world. That's two things up on Samsung. So they're doing small changes, but they're big. You know what I mean?
That's exactly how like an Apple commercial would say it.
Right.
Yeah.
Small changes, but big.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Kevin from The Office.
Now, if
I don't watch The Office. I wish I did.
the other thing too is, and I know we have a lot to talk about, so I'll keep this short. If you notice, everything up to this keynote this year was very small. Small change here, small change there. Here's a camera there and a camera there, and this, that, and the other. Then all of a sudden, this keynote comes.
Mm-hmm.
We're changing Big Sur. We're
Big Sur.
Big Sur. Apple Watch 5, the car key program into your phone. All of a sudden, it's these new things. They're more bigger than what they have done.
Yeah, it's been a big year.
So with Samsung coming out, now they have to. The battery thing is number one. Mm-hmm. If that can outperform the iPhone, Samsung sales will go up.
For those
Big
who aren't
time.
familiar, the iPhone 11 was they introduced 3D Touch a long time ago, that capacitive touch thing. The iPhone 11, they got rid of it. And I don't know what the correlation is. I know a lot of reviewers said there was a correlation, but the iPhone 11s have incredible battery life. I mean, it's usually I don't have issues with batteries on phone. I never had on phones.
The SE is actually doing really good too.
I believe it. Yeah, they're getting their pieces together. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting to see, because I know that's the number one thing that consumers have said, at least from what I've heard from the different companies saying, the battery. And then the next thing is camera. More on that camera thing later, because I'm going to complain.
Yes,
But we'll get into battery right now.
but,
Let's talk about
so with Samsung doing the battery thing, if it is what the reports are saying, Apple's going to have a very, very tight race this year.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a cool looking phone. I'd get one just because of the copper.
Because you have diehard Apple.
Zero cameras. It's got a 1-inch screen like a postage stamp, but it's copper all the way around.
the penny edition. It
The
doesn't-
penny edition.
You have diehard
Lincoln
Apple
edition.
fans.
Yeah.
It'll cost. Wait, hold on. It'll cost $299, but it costs $800 to make.
That's true.
The penny edition.
But you see an ad every 5 seconds, no matter what you do. Even if it's off, it just shows you an ad. There's no power.
So,
Anyway, go
but
on,
yeah,
Joey.
no, you have
Ads for
diehard.
old movies, even. What? Titanic again?
You have diehard Apple fans and you have diehard Samsung fans. But the one thing I will say, and I'm sure you guys heard this from even Apple people, the design of Apple or Samsung phones, to me at least, but I'm sure I know other people agree, Samsung wins that.
It's a pretty phone. I like it. It's glowy.
What the last time besides every iPhone looks the same. pretty
Thumbnail
much.
for clips.
The only difference on these iPhones are the cameras in the back. And honestly, the back of your iPhone right now with the camera, it looks stupid.
It looks like a shaver.
Yeah.
I've kind of
Yeah.
gotten used to it. At first, I thought the Apple thing in the middle when they moved, because they moved the Apple logo down, right? It's traditionally there. For anyone watching here, put that up in front of the yeah. So it was traditionally up in that like upper third section, right? And then they move down the middle. At first, I'm like, that looks really dumb.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? That actually looks fine. I don't complain.
Just so the audience can see what you're talking about.
But doesn't it sort of match the laptop? It's in the center.
It does. But it's just a breakaway from the traditions. But the cameras are.
So now the new iPhones, you've seen them, right? With the 4 cameras now.
It's supposedly so it's 3 cameras but a LiDAR sensor. So the iPad Pro this year that got released had that LiDAR thing, which is what the self-driving cars use. They have the laser beam array that can get you very precise measurements of the surrounding area in 3 dimensions. So that's what the iPad has. So that's supposedly what that sensor, that 4th lens looking thing is going to be. And that will be probably for like depth sensing stuff because, the small sensors.
My question is, when does this stop?
Never.
When it's got predator vision.
See the heat vision. That was awesome. In the headphones, it's just it's in a tree.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, you're gonna have 4. Then once a couple years, it's gonna have 5. Is it gonna go up to 10 and then that's it?
Well, the Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G, the quad camera, it looks like it's got 4 plus of the depth of field camera.
Yeah, so it's the ultra wide, your standard, and then a zoom, and then some other zoom or ultra wide or something.
Now Samsung's camera, besides I'm just talking about the camera, not the recording.
I'm gonna get into the video thing.
The camera though, and I've shown and I've had iPhone users actually take pictures, and they've literally told me they're like, this is better than iPhone. And the reason I have to use other people, Dom knows, I'm colorblind. So I can't really see the difference of what one camera does to another. To me, it all looks the same. But from people that do know colors and they see it, they go, Samsung's camera is a lot better than the iPhone. They're like, can I take more pictures with your phone? I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But so what I've noticed about that, when you listen to reviewers talk about it, the guys who see this stuff all the time and are probably exposed to a lot more photography and like cameras, they always seem to say that the iPhone is better because the iPhone seems to attempt to get a more natural, like what did the image actually look like, where Samsung likes to kind of not overexpose, but it's like a colors thing. They just kind of get that Best Buy effect when the colors are really bright, like, oh my God, that ladybug, it's so shiny. So it entices you that way. So I guess it's a matter of preference. It does take good pictures. I'm going to segue here because that thing. So on the first episode, so we record this with iPhones. Yeah, I'm going to go on a thing here. So on our first episode, we recorded these with the episode with some Galaxy Notes. And when we looked at the footage, what happened, Joey? What happened like 80 times? It just kept going in and out of focus. So if you moved, it would undulate.
Oh, it didn't have the autofocus.
It couldn't figure out. It would autofocus, but it wasn't a good autofocus.
It focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah, it was going all over the place, and it just ended up ruining a whole bunch of footage. And also, then it separates the videos into different chunks, which the iPhone it stays focused, So the reason we're using phones instead of DSLRs is one, there's big storage capacities right on the phones, and you have the bigger battery, so it can handle that. Use a DSLR, it sucks up a lot of data, a lot of stuff like that. So this is just, and you could transfer it wirelessly and stuff. But yeah, the iPhone just handles it like a champ. Is it like perfect, clear, crispy quality? No, not really.
It's interesting because I've had to take photos of checks with both the Samsung and the iPhone, and I definitely had a lot more struggles with that close up with the Samsung. The iPhone just focuses much better.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the case. That's at least from my experience. Now the pictures are great.
So it would be exciting if the S20 or the S20 Ultra with its 11 cameras can autofocus in a much more natural way.
It's like a macro camera. They are?
Samsung, there's a report that these new Samsung phones are going to have a better autofocusing, which is they're also saying it's going to be basically like iPhone with the autofocus.
So they're going at iPhone in all the ways that
they are. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be a very, very close race, I think.
And it's copper.
So once they've established all of these great things, they'll slowly take things away, just like the iPhone did with the headphone jack, right? And then they'll move society toward their global means.
Yeah, I mean,
no. That's a conspiracy theory. Let's do it at all.
Yeah, don't start conspiracies on the channel, Kyle. You're new here, okay?
Yeah. Listen, I'm coming in hot.
He's coming in like Samsung.
Exactly. Oh my God. like a Note 8, just blowing it up. So, yeah, but I know I'm really excited about the event. There will be, like I said, I'm doing the Note 20 or Note 10, whatever this stupid
Are
phone
you
is.
getting the new one? Will you get the new one, I should say?
If we get like 10,000 subscribers in the next couple days, yeah, sure, I'll get a new one.
No, I
Thank
mean,
you,
let's
thank
just say, when either your contract comes up or you're able to upgrade, would you get the new one?
When I get rid of you? Yeah, I probably would. I want the copper. I'm over the glowy.
Wow.
I mean, here's the thing.
Even if
And this
it's-
is actually towards the audience. If you're able to, and if you ever are looking for 2 phones, I definitely recommend, even though you're going to spend a little bit, do the iPhone, do the Samsung.
You get the best of both worlds.
You get the best of both worlds. The Samsung is great for business. I'm telling you right now. If you're using phones for business, and the iPhone's good too, but Samsung actually has a lot more, I believe, for business parts. So really good.
Yeah.
Especially with the pen on the phone itself. That pen is very good. You can use it. It works like a charm. It does not. It doesn't break down.
Just look out for the review.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're
Sorry.
okay. You're okay.
I
No, I
don't
was
mean to
trying to
go
cut.
for
I
the
was just
review.
trying to cut you off. It was just a funny little.
Yeah, and no, I just wanted to let the audience know too. If that's what you're, because as you say, you have both of them. Wouldn't you agree for business aspects, Samsung's is a good phone for business, or
Yeah.
do you actually prefer Apple for business?
So Apple doesn't really focus on business the way that they used to. They're definitely just at the regular consumer. Yeah, I would say an Android phone in general, but especially Samsung's offerings, because each company is different.
Mm-hmm.
You can really use that customization to your advantage and make the phone suited for that specific job.
Mm-hmm.
Way more like a much more tailor made than you could on an iPhone.
I mean, look what you do for your job now, right? You're able to access your job's website for work. You can actually work on that phone.
Yeah. I deployed a VM on it, and I was able to. I deployed Linux on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was able to use a remote desktop app to get into the Linux, and then
Nice.
I ran PHP Storm.
Yeah.
That's
and
nice.
I linked it to my Google Drive, and it's not the best performance, but yeah, in essence, if I have this, I can use the Samsung DeX, which is that desktop.
Yeah, and you have a little
Nice.
computer on your phone.
It's literally
basically.
yeah, and it's so it's a decent experience. I will say, give it enough time to polish, it'll be nice.
Yeah.
So does that mean you will remote into a computer and use the phone as the interface to the computer, or that is
No.
the computer?
This is the computer. All the
Oh.
processing is on board on the phone because it's a VM of a Linux
Righteous.
distribution, and then you can see everything. So what the Samsung DeX is, it's an application that gives you like a desktop interface for your phone. That's
Nice.
that's basically all it does. So it works.
I'm gonna
well
have some
enough.
Homework.
It's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean
It's nice to have that option.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And obviously you're not going to use it everyday use as a computer, right? So,
Yeah. No.
But if let's say you're somewhere and you're like, oh, I don't have my laptop, but I can do this.
Right. You could do it right off the phone.
Right.
And it's nice when you use the DeX thing for business. Because so when we were working in the office, I had Outlook on here. I used Microsoft Word, all the Android offerings, and in desktop mode, they work well enough. If you have a little bit of patience, you can get away with it. And the nice part is, it's just everything's always there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what computer I plug it into. My email's there, my documents are there, my files are there. Everything that I need is there. So it is a interesting concept, and I wonder. I don't know. I just want to see like 100 years from now where are we going.
Kyle, question for you. Now that you went to Apple, right? What are the things that you would say? Would you actually think about going for the new Samsung?
Oh, that's a great question. I probably would. There's a couple times when I'm on a call and I don't want to use up all my battery life, and I'll hit the power button to turn it off, and it closes the call. Never happened with my Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Really? I've never tried hitting the lock button with the. Huh.
Yeah, I never have either. I never have.
Ooh, that interference you're hearing is from the signals coming out of your phone.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Someone's texting you. Oh no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So for business purposes, I think the Samsung is great for obviously business calls. But the iPhone, as powerful as it is,
Switch it to your left hand because it's coming in through the life sucks.
The iPhone, as powerful as it is for all the business things I might need it for, hearing that I can put an entire computer on the Samsung either through VMware or
Yeah, it's not VM. It's it's basically an SSH terminal that you install. And then through the SSH terminal, you can run some commands to get a Linux distribution, and then it runs as a service, and then you VNC remote desktop into the service.
In short,
to get your desktop. Yeah.
The reason I have this phone is for work purposes due to what our customers use. They are primarily iPhone users. If the opposite were true, I think I'd be a lot happier.
Yeah. Okay. Now touch on that. The thing about with the iPhone. Now, if you have a Mac, obviously the iPhone for business use is going to be great because everything can sync right over.
And that was kind of the big...
That's one thing I will say about the Apple, but I totally understand where you're coming from too, Kyle. I honestly, like I said, I agree. I believe the Samsung is better for business use.
Which isn't to say that Mac users aren't business people.
Oh no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that if you have a Mac and you have an iPhone, then you're pretty much set. You're pretty much set for business.
And once you're locked into that ecosystem, you're screwed. I'm screwed. Exactly. I can't do anything about it now because I'm literally texting Kyle from my computer all day, or it's just so much easier to just. I don't need my phone.
Right.
There were times when the Apple Watch Series 3 came out and I got it with the cell service, I had a couple times just forgotten my phone.
Yeah.
And I went to work, and instead of turning around, and I work 2 miles away, right? Mm-hmm. So I could easily just turn around or go back on my lunch, pick up the phone. I was like, man, let's see how it goes. Didn't need it. Yep. Every single thing.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, it'll come in on my MacBook.
Oh, gotcha.
And while I'm driving, it'll Bluetooth to my car because all the calls get forwarded to the watch.
Wild.
So it's like me having my phone without having my phone, and anything I need the bigger phone like interface for, I just hand it off to the laptop.
Apple's connectivity with itself is the best.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Samsung today. So, but what with that being said, would you ever consider, Kyle, doing both phones?
I had both, actually.
Oh, you did? Oh, I didn't know that.
Just the other way. Personal Android, Apple business.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
But my personal usage went down, so I decided I didn't need the phone for that reason.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Makes sense. Well,
it got swamped with kids' games.
Yeah, and you know what? That happens. I get very particular about my apps, and so I went with, even though I don't necessarily use this guy as much as I would like to, having that, for lack of a better term, segregation between business and the personal stuff, and just knowing like anything I do on here won't affect that. I don't have to get everything mixed up. Not because I really care, but just from a standpoint of usability. Like I know I'm holding this phone, so I know like. I don't know, it's like a gear thing in my brain. Right. I just know home stuff, right? Lights on, bathroom not on, whatever. And then this is like, oh, email from boss, I'm in trouble.
It's almost like a part of your self-image at that point. Like, I've stored all of my life, which regards my home life here, and therefore that is who I am when I look at this phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say this about another thing about Samsung. The games on there, or the apps on there, seems like there's more free apps on Android than there is on Apple.
It's very true. So the games that I did have on my Samsung were geared toward my kids. Now my son is trying to take my phone all the time, but there aren't enough kid apps.
Right.
Like anything that I want to get for him, $8.99.
Yeah.
And with Samsung, he was always just like, oh, you could blow bubbles, and he would love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing I will give Samsung credit for. That a lot of their stuff is free. It's got a lot of kid-friendly things, and
were those Android apps though, or those Samsung? Because there's 2 stores.
I'm sorry, Android in general.
Okay.
Sorry,
Android.
No, I just want to make sure. I just wasn't sure.
But what was I say? Yeah, it's just a more friendly thing, and people that like to game on their phone when they're bored, they have tons more selection than you did with Apple.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also easier to get apps into the Android store, so that that would make sense.
And plus, you could play the old school games too. You can do emulators.
Emulators.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
That's another thing. I have. I'm playing NBA Jam right now, the old school one.
Yeah. I played.
Atari?
No, the one for Nintendo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was playing Ocarina of Time for a while. When I first got this phone, I was like, "Oh right, emulators," and I went,
Pokemon.
"Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I got
Lot of
Pokemon on there." So
Pokemon.
yeah, Pokemon Yellow, and it's the orientation too. It's right.
Pokemon Green.
I never played Green. I know
That's
the
the-
Japanese one.
Yeah.
There was a Japanese
That's
Green.
the Japanese
They
Green I
didn't-
was
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Where the names are messed up. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. I never understood why they didn't release it here. 'Cause they had blue and red for charge. Pokemon aside, so
Pokemon.
it-
Pokemon.
It should be a really interesting event. We'll definitely more than likely cover more of it. Because I think it's on a Wednesday. When's the 5th? When's August 5th? Is that a Wednesday? Let me see. Let me pull up the calendar.
Stand by.
I need to get that algorithm that you could do in your head that tells you what day. It's Wednesday. So we record these on Thursday, so we'll probably more than likely cover a lot of it in that episode.
We will?
Oh, yeah.
No, you know what? Now we're not going to. You know what? Podcast
fine.
over. We're out. We're done. All right, lights out.
Okay.
So we definitely talked a lot about phones on that one. Yeah, S20 wasn't really, just to get that last thing because I want to talk a little bit more about the S20. The reviews that I saw was it's an expensive phone that didn't do a whole lot of stuff.
The S20 Ultra here, it has the numerous cameras. This one, I'm seeing its specs, 167 millimeters. That's 6.5 inches. How big is that one?
This is 6.5 inches. I think it's
Okay.
about the size. Yeah, the dimensions I believe are about the same size.
So you won't have any issue transitioning. Oh,
No. But
okay.
the next iPhone, supposedly the iPhone 12 Max, 12S, whatever the hell they're going to call it, is going to be 6.7. So,
Whoa.
yeah, I have no idea.
There's a phone coming out, and I can't remember which one. It's going to be 6.9
Well,
Tall?
inches. Yeah.
so probably the diagonal,
Well, the S20 Ultra diagonal is 6.9 inches. That's like corner
holy,
to corner.
oh my God.
When I said it's going to be 6.7, I mean tall.
Oh,
straight up and down.
tall. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to hearing, whenever I hear dimensions, I
Yeah.
always think diagonally when it comes to the screens. So, wow, that's,
It's going to be a big phone.
yeah, that's
That's what
going
I'm
to be big.
saying, like-
Yeah. This one's 6.5 this way,
Oh, yeah. It's going to be much bigger.
I believe. Wow, That
But
might be a
it'll
good
have
phone
to
for you, Joe.
support the
Yeah.
108 megapixel.
Yeah. So about that 108 megapixels, just because. No, I'm going to talk about that later. We got a lot. We still got way more stuff to cover. So, I had some notes in here about Samsung's One UI, but you know what? We'll cover that one in another one too. That's a whole. If you have, that's like, so with Android you have the skins. You could actually like install a Microsoft skin, and you could install a Google Pixel skin, and it changes the whole UI. Like it's part of the Android customization thing. So Samsung's One UI has been quite interesting for me because there's ads all over the place. But I'll talk about that.
Ads
Another
on
day.
your phone all the
I'm
time?
not even joking. You get in, when I first booted up the phone, you go into the Bixby section, which people online,
Right.
they would say, well, don't use it then. I just spent $1,300 on a phone. I don't want ads to be in that experience.
Yeah.
It's not a $1,300 phone experience.
Right.
It's
That
not.
takes off $600 right there in
Yeah,
my mind.
exactly. And then you go to the weather app.
Mm-hmm.
There's ads. So I Google it. I'm like, how do I get rid of these ads? And then people are like, well, you just go get a different app. No, that's not an excuse.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. This is in the high tier pricing range of phones. Right? I would say this is like a Mercedes of phones, right? It's not like, it doesn't have diamonds in it, but we'll go ahead and say that it's
But it could.
an upper middle class type phone. So you buy a Benz, okay, and you get in it, okay, and then there is an advertisement for Famous Dave's.
That's my kind of car right there, guys.
And then you press the little go button, and the car will drive you to Famous Dave's.
And then you can drive where you want to go.
And then, of which case, then it's like, well, you got to get some ice cream now. So here's a Baskin Robbins right
Well,
now.
you know, after car shopping, usually you're hungry.
Oh God, stop making these dark futures, guys.
See,
We need
See?
Days of Future
That's
Past.
what's gonna happen.
X-Men, please save us.
I wouldn't be surprised. So we definitely. There's definitely a lot of smartphone stuff happening. But Samsung does other stuff.
They do?
They do. I know.
More than
right?
just phones?
They
Wow.
do. I know. We just talked about it for about 30, 40 minutes here, and yes,
I
they
never
do more.
knew that.
Well, let me get you guys caught up. So, the one thing, so Samsung phones aside, and okay, so actually this is a good segue. There's ads on this phone, okay? There's ads in the smart interface, the smart TV interface for the Samsung TVs. Now, they're a little more subtle, but I know you've seen them. You hit the little thing, it comes up, and then right in the corner there, it's like NBA Jam or NBA 2K, You know, here's the new Tomb Raider movie. You know,
you can enjoy Narcos.
So exactly. So there's ads, and I just can't. I guess that's the way that supposedly they. Well, I don't want to see them.
Take out that part of your eye.
Just close your eyes and click.
I'm going to buy a TV to close my eyes.
Well, hang on. You say close your eyes, but there are features like text to speech, or it'll read what's happening on the screen, right? Because I know it might seem bizarre to have a TV for a visually impaired person, but it exists because there's many levels of that spectrum. So if you have a thing that's reading ads to you, that's BS.
That's awful.
Well, you know what?
That's
Kyle,
awful.
You gave me an idea what to do to Dom as a prank.
If you turn on the text to speech to that TV, I will. Don't you?
Thank you,
I'm going to hide the remotes. Note, editor, note, hide TV remotes from Joey. So when Samsung announced the micro LED and the Bali thing, which we'll get into later what that is, they had that TV. So it's like a phone TV type thing.
Right.
It's like a multi-purpose, large screen information, entertainment, a flex in how much money you make kind of product.
It's definitely got the golden ratio to it, the length to run. But it looks like what you'd imagine if you saw just a giant phone. Also, it looks like the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I unfortunately never saw 2001: Space Odyssey. I only know I can't let you do that, Michael.
Yeah.
Was that the line?
HAL.
Yeah. The HAL 9000 or whatever it was. Yeah, that's a cool product. I mean, you have to have a lot of room for that thing because you can't just throw it on a wall. It's not like a normal TV. It has a big old stand that's meant to go on the floor.
Yep, the stand helps to support the weight of it as it spins.
Oh, that makes sense. So it's not like something you could just put on a wall per se. I mean, you probably could mount it and it'll hold it, but
there's probably a couple ways to mount the base of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure. But then you've got maybe.
Then it's a TV that turns. Yeah. You might as well just get a regular TV that you.
So I don't mean to cut you guys off, but going back to the TV, we were talking about the micro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see you getting many of these, especially if the prices here are $14,848.
That's what it is now. But when you look at how TVs were a long time ago, prices used to be extremely high, and then manufacturing gets better and demand gets to where it's at.
So what you're saying is you're going to wait 6 years before you get one?
No, I'm not gonna get one of those. I mean, that thing is ridiculous. It's 300 and something inches or whatever. Was it 24 feet?
Yeah, 24 feet.
That's crazy.
Well, you just said previously that you were going to get one.
I would, in my fantasy world, yes, I would love to get one. I'd love to get all the things, but you know what? I'm stuck with QLED. The biggest thing I want to get, even though there's no purpose for it.
So, who's your fantasy quarterback? Oh, it's this TV. It's great.
That's exactly correct. That is exactly how it
Actually,
the question.
The whole team is the TV.
Yeah.
They all link together. They're
yes,
perfect.
of different sizes and different functions, and they're just, but they all.
This is the quarterback. This is the offensive lineman.
There you go. Yeah, so QLED's your quarterback, offensive lineman's your OLED. Is there any?
What's a wide receiver?
Running back.
Your wide receiver would be your
wide range Samsung
your
TV.
ultra wide TV. I don't know.
That's ultra. That's
Your kicker would be a CRT monitor.
Barely used but functional.
Right. Exactly.
That's great. 8K is the thing that Samsung's been pushing too with their QLED. Sorry, I know that was kind of a hard jump. I just didn't want to lose this thought. So a lot of people say, okay, you can't enjoy 8K unless it's whatever, like 200 inches or something like that. But the way that they're building the box, I don't know if you've seen an 8K television that are made by Samsung. They're not built like your standard TV that's kind of designed to be free floating. They're built with like furniture in mind. So they have like this very rigid edge, and it's just a box basically. It's all the sides are equal. There's no branding. It's a very thin bezel. You look at it from the sides. It's thick and it's heavy because they have to push all that light through. 4 times as many pixels as 4K, and it's really hard when the pixel grid is that tight. So I like that look. I don't know if you've seen the frame TV that Samsung releases, that Samsung has too. It's literally like a TV.
Oh, this one. Oh.
Yeah, the frame. Yeah, it's designed to be.
That's the QLED 8K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that guy, and then they have. It's the same concept as their frame TV, where it's literally a picture frame, a TV and a picture frame, and it stays on all day and shows art, but it's a TV, and you could just watch TV on it anytime. So if you have like a TV over your dresser in your room,
clever.
it's a picture. And then it's like,
Until
okay,
you want it to be a TV.
now it's time to watch, as you were saying earlier, was Narcos, was that show?
Yeah, Narcos.
Yeah, and then you're good to go, and you'll get an ad for it too, probably over your Da Vinci artwork that you have up there, or your family balloon ride.
So there's no risk of burn-in.
No, not with QLED.
Right on.
So they have this ambient mode, yeah. So it's nice. My only fear is there's no risk of burn-in, but it's using like array dimming zones and stuff. So you have whatever they're called. It's backlit, which means that the bulbs can burn out.
Okay.
Amongst other things. Now they're LED and all that other stuff, right? You get all that stuff, but eventually, I mean, they'll last a long time, but there's always a sacrifice one way or another.
Well, that's the thing. Are they going to last a long time? Because in 5 years, when the next thing of TVs come out, people replace it.
Yeah, I mean, I gave Joey that plasma that I bought
Mhm.
from way back when, 2013, and it still works. And
Sure.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. Samsung makes good panels. I've never had an issue with any of them.
I guess I'm trying to point out that as we make cooler and cooler stuff, the concept of making it last may
Yeah.
diminish.
Yeah.
Like, well, if everybody just accepts
Well, that's starting now.
yeah.
That's doing it now. I mean, you got people that, for an example, you got people that buy MacBooks and then a year later a new one comes and they replace it right away. I mean, even though these things last for years.
And then you got people that don't. And smartphones used to be everyone would buy a phone every year, and now they're going longer and longer without buying phones.
That's
It's
because
a
there's no
weird market.
innovation either.
That is true. There's no real reason to buy
But again,
them.
that's a different topic. But with TVs,
Unless it's completely copper.
That's an innovation in my book.
with
I
TVs
don't
though,
get
it's
it.
different. There's always something different with each TV that comes out, and it's never like the same.
Yeah. Yes, and there's always some greatest new feature that
Right.
the industry's trying to push on us. The one thing that I wish the TV manufacturers would stop doing, and this is something I think all tech companies do. You ever bought something that says in the box, I'll use a TV for example. Now with HDR, right? When HDR came out, that was the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now with HDR, it's like, okay, cool, sweet, I'm gonna get it. It's got HDR. It's got 65 inches, got 4 HDMI ports, it's got all this stuff. Cool. So you get it home, you put it in, and you plug in all your HDR stuff, but only one freaking HDMI port
Yeah.
does the HDR.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whoa, no. This is an HDR TV, not 1/4 HDR TV. Well, no, the screen will show 100% HDR in one port.
Yeah.
So now I got to do this weird thing where I get a receiver that basically acts as a splitter multi-input
Right.
to get my HDR and everything, and now I got to deal with another remote.
$160.
Exactly, because it was advertised as one thing and it wasn't. And TV manufacturers do this stuff all the time. How many times have you bought a product with the idea that it was going to work a particular way? Yes, it has super fast refresh or this or that, but it's like, so now it's got low motion blur. I bought some monitors, those gaming monitors I bought a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Low motion. Yeah, so low motion blur, 144 hertz refresh rate.
Not
Sweet.
At the same time.
Not at the same time.
I knew you were going to say
Yep,
that.
not at the same time. Why this keeps happening, I don't know, and I fall for it because the box doesn't.
Because marketing gets away with it.
Yeah, it's so annoying, and I wish that Samsung would be like they would stop. They'd be like the forerunner of that.
There is some TV, and I believe Samsung Vizio has done it. You know, my Vizio TV didn't have HDR, right?
Mhm.
Now it does.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't your TV, when you bought this, or maybe it was another TV, all the ports became HDR?
Yeah, but that's because I hacked it. I went into the.
I thought you said that it happened. You didn't even know what happened.
Okay, so I was futzing around with the what are they called? It's like the service menu one day, and I realized that I had pushed it's like an internal update, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it updated all the ports to 2.0. And the 2.0 standard is the one that allows HDR. So even if your HDMI ports are running HDMI 2.0, you still have bandwidth limitations, right? Like it could do in the handshake process tell your Xbox, yeah, I'm 2.0, I can handle this and this and this. The Xbox tries to send the data stream, and then the
It doesn't go
processor,
anywhere.
right? It doesn't go anywhere because it can't handle it. So, like for example, this TV, this QLED here, I go into the service menu, it's 8K ready. I go to turn on the 8K, and it accepts the signal, but the display, the actual physical display where the pixels are, is not 8K. So you just get this jumbled up signal because it's seeing what it's seeing, and anyway, so yeah. As far as like upgradability goes, like this TV right now has HDMI 2.1. HDMI 2.1, supposedly to have eARC, and it's this whole thing, 40 gigs or 80 gigs, whatever, of bandwidth, yada, yada, yada. It's got a bunch of new features. I see it. All the ports have it. I turn it on, but none of the devices let it work. So it's like it has it, but that doesn't mean it works.
But have you tried it with only one thing running at one time?
Yeah.
And it still doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It's not designed that way. And this is something the tiniest little side thing that Elon Musk and Tesla, he's figured out something, right? Because people buy these cars and then he continues to sell them. Here's your latest update. Here's a new feature. Here's this. We're going to upgrade your cameras to give you self-driving cars. This is something no other car manufacturer's done, but more focus on the topic, TV manufacturers have not done. If this TV supports 2.1 and it physically can help manage the standard, right? There was a reason it was built with 2.1 ports, right? They're in the service menu. I didn't have to install additional firmware. The hardware is there from what I can tell. So then charge me $200 and let me upgrade. That's $200 you're going to get from me now, because I'm not going to spend $4,000 today. I'm not going to do it in 3 years. I'm not going to do it in 4 years. That TV is perfectly fine. So, you know what I'm saying? Okay, fine. You want
the opportunity to get a little bit of money by giving another service is there. Why haven't they done it? Right.
Subsidize. Make the TVs even cheaper. Say, okay, fine. Here you go. Here's a TV. It's fully equipped with everything, but we're going to sell it to you for 1/3 the price. In a year from now, if you want to add something, all right, $300. Boom, you can upgrade. I can't see people are willing to spend money on Netflix and not even watch it every month.
There's people that are willing to spend $20,000-$30,000 on these TVs too.
Oh yeah, I just think just from a consumer perspective, it's like somebody buys a TV. It's not like people can go out and buy a new TV every year. And I would imagine that there's not even a market for that. There's probably 0.0001% of people that buy the latest and greatest TV every year. Or are you one of those people? Kyle?
No. I'm just saying that they absolutely exist. They're the same people who buy a new yacht every year.
Yeah.
Oh well.
They
do exist. Fair enough.
The 1%ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
just Bezos. He's buying.
It's just Bezos. Exactly.
It's just he's going to listen. One day, far in the future, he's going to hear this guy really has a problem with me. I don't care. I'm Bezos. I'm Jeff Bezos. I don't care.
I'm worth as much as Apple now.
Yeah, there's secretly an Alexa in here.
Yeah, it's infiltrated.
Every TV's got an Alexa in it.
Yeah, he's been so.
He's made micro bots that combine to form an Alexa. And they just walk onto your door.
And they come into your door through every package you buy. Little nanobots come out and they just form Alexas throughout your home.
Yeah.
It's funny. So it's with Alexa too. It's integrating into everything, and Samsung's doing a lot of integration with Alexa and stuff like that. Like the sound bars are getting Alexa support and all this other stuff. So they'll give you upgrades that way. But that's data collection, right? So from what I understand, my soundbar, I could be totally misrepresenting this, but I think if I'm remembering correctly, so I have what is the model? It's the Q90 soundbar. So they released it, and there was a bunch of features that we're going to add via update, yada, yada. I believe that Alexa was one of those, and it's like, okay, well, sure, you're going to go ahead and give me stuff that you could track data and then sell that data to other companies. Of course you're going to do that, but you're not going to let me pay to upgrade the thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they'll sell your stuff to somebody else, but they won't take your money.
Right. Right, because the data is perpetually valuable. $300 is only valuable until it's gone.
They make more money off the data.
Right, because they can keep reselling it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so what they'll do is they'll use the data to create a marketing plan specifically for me with machine learning algorithms and Bezos and all that other stuff, and then they're going to come at me with some marketing plan and say, now's the time he's going to buy that TV. So if we show him this ad at this time with this celebrity, ching.
We've heard you really like Narcos.
No.
I've heard that word a lot.
No, you want to get Dom to buy something new? Just you have Florence.
Oh, you could have Florence. No, I'd probably respond more to.
Oh wait, Jessica. No, not Jessica.
Alicia
Come
Keys.
on.
I forgot her name.
Jessica
Black Widow.
I know. I forgot her name for some reason. Scarlett Johansson. Yes.
Yeah, that would have worked on 30-year-old Dom, but 31-year-old Dom doesn't.
Oh, so Betty White?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So that's my whole take on the thing. I would really love to see Samsung. I'd like to see Apple make a TV because I feel like if Apple made a TV, it's going to be, it's got HDR on all the ports. It's just common sense. That's just the way it is, and you're going to spend the money for it, and I get that.
This is a Samsung segment.
What about voice commands? You think does the TV have a voice command?
Oh, sure, but you have to agree to the term of service, and then the terms of service says they're going to be able to collect your data and then sell it off anonymously. As a matter of fact, if you notice, you look at any price trends, you'll see that at one point TVs, and you remember, right? We're all in the remember when TVs were incredibly expensive. And then it's like, wait, you can what do you mean you can get a 60-inch TV for $800? Like that's mind-boggling. Right? When you factor in inflation, back then it was thousands of dollars. Now it's $800. It's even cheaper when you do the relative dollars, because what they do is you get the smart TV. Smart TV has the apps. The apps tell the TV what it is that you're watching, and then that data is sent off to Samsung, and they use that money that they use from selling the data to subsidize the TVs. And it's kind of a looping thing, right? Now the TVs are cheaper, more people buy TVs, more data, cheaper TVs, so on and so forth.
Well, if that's the case, I don't mind them using my data.
Well,
that means cheaper TVs and they're good TVs.
You know, I wouldn't either. I mind and I don't mind the data collection stuff because I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not watching anything bad. But the idea that a company is allowed to make money off of me when they already made money off of me, like that was one of the reasons why I never played. I never did Xbox because I didn't like the idea of the online. You have to pay for it. I already pay for internet service. Now I've changed my thoughts, but that was my thought back then. I already pay for internet. I don't want to have to pay for service that I'm already paying. That I need. Xbox Live doesn't do you any good if you don't have internet.
Ads on Amazon Prime Video.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I already paid for this, but why am I getting ads?
Hulu had a big issue with that as well. When Hulu first launched, you pay to get ads. What?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure eventually. Legislation will come through, which will sort of help to minimize that. We've recently seen, this is a bit off topic, but we've recently seen a surgence of robocalls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they just actually got rid of legislation preventing it.
Oh, I thought they added legislation. I thought they.
T-Mobile's fighting robocalls as we speak. Actually,
right. The volume of robocalls has increased dramatically because there are less rules to say don't do it.
Right.
So if all it would take is just kind of a blanket law that says you may not sell your customers' data without their permission, then that has to go through a whole thing like, okay, then, well, what are we going to do to get them to agree? You can't use the product unless you say, okay. But maybe the next step after that would be to say, okay, can't even do that.
Yep. Honestly, data, the thing that needs to be done is data collection just needs to stop.
Right.
Completely.
Europe does that. GDPR. Y'all familiar with that?
That sounds so familiar. No, refresh me.
It's essentially just like a little checkbox if you're on a European site that says...
yes, I know what that is. The cookies.
The cookies, yeah. But you can say no, and then you can still get through. As opposed to us, where it's you say yes, or you can't get through.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, like the saying goes, Big Brother's always watching. You know?
It's become that way. And
until little brother gets strong. And beats up Big Brother.
It's become that way. And once this company screws up, which Facebook kind of did with that whole Cambridge thing, and they were able to siphon data out of people, or whatever, friends of friends, or whatever it was. Someone's going to mess up one way or another, and something's going to come out. And
even though that Mark Zuckerberg with Congress was hilarious.
Yeah, he's so awkward, but... Yeah, you know what? I don't mind paying more if it means I'm going to get the experience that I believe. Like screw the marketing tricks. What is it exactly that I'm getting?
Yep.
And that
you want to get what you think you're going to get.
Yes, exactly. And I'll pay the money for it, but don't make me think like I'm getting a good deal just for me to find out. Oh yeah, but you know, you get that, you get the 4K, but Narcos. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just leaves this really bad taste in my mouth. I can't get past it.
I feel the same way.
Well, that you know what? I'm all for agreement. Then hopefully the rest of the world will agree with us, and then something will change. That's the purpose of this channel,
right?
And that's why we're here.
Completing the conspiracy.
Completing the conspiracy.
Is this an Obama campaign again?
No. Yeah, it's you know what? We're all part of a marketing algorithm. Right. We're just here to get you to vote.
We want change.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
So we're getting close to the end of the show here, but I wanted to add as a little last thing. Which one of you are familiar with the Samsung Bali?
Wait a minute.
Not at all. Wait a minute.
Which part of this?
You didn't talk about the Q950 soundbar.
I don't care about the soundbar. It's got 9.1, 0.7, 0.6, 0.3, 0.4, 0.2 surround sound plus Atmos plus HDR
You're
plus
just
plus
upset
HDR
because
plus
yours
10
is obsolete.
Screw you, Joey.
And you just
I bought that soundbar. It's top tier.
Yeah.
Right? As a matter of fact, I looked at the like the base elite tier. So they had the 70, the 80, and the 90.
Right.
And I looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, if I, the 70's nice. Okay, it's price, but you know what? I could live. I could take the price. Okay, you got this. You had this. That's cool. I'm like, you know what?
Joey's gonna 7.8, 0.9.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that at that point. I was thinking to myself, Joey's gonna bitch if I don't get the 80. So the 80, I'm like, okay, I can do the 80. That's cool. All these features. All right.
Oh, but the 90.
And
It's
I'm like,
only $12 more.
But you know what? If I get the 80, Joey's gonna bitch. So I just jumped right into it and got the best one, and it was like $1,600 for that. Now it's Atmos. It's loud. It's bad loud. Like
THQ.
Yeah, THX.
Yeah,
THX.
THQ is the company. THX. Right.
It's awesome. The surround sound is
It's not a Q950 though.
So guess what?
Wait a
Samsung
second.
just released like 2 months after I bought that soundbar, the Q950.
I'm looking at one that says the Q800. So the Q950 is even more recent
Yes.
than that?
It is their top tier amongst their top tier, and mine has 7.1.4. This one has 9.1.
This is like you not having screens in the back of the BMW all over again.
Yes, but worse.
Wait.
Because
Screens in the back of the BMW?
my car.
It had a screen in the front. I remember when you got it. It was a
No,
beautiful
I'm
thing.
talking. Yeah, where you go.
No, you haven't seen my new car, have you?
No?
The 7
You
Series.
haven't seen the silver car?
Apparently not.
No. Okay, so yeah, the 7 has. I hate you, Joey.
Anyway,
In particular configurations of the car, which are rare and also don't come all-wheel drive. You have to do something. You have to get something very particular to get that. It's very rare and very hard to find, especially one that's in good shape, like the one I got that had a warranty and everything else, including the super crazy sound system.
No screen in the back though.
you got the shiny.
But I don't have. Yes, I got the shiny, but I don't have the screens.
Ah.
Now I can get. I can install. I can retrofit the screens for $500. I can retrofit the screens. So Joey bitches all the time that I don't have the screens.
Ain't no.
And now he doesn't have the Q950 sound.
Don't worry.
So-
In a couple of years, you won't have the Q1200.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, guys, yeah, this was episode 3 of our podcast. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you again, Kyle, for being here.
Yeah,
This
happy
was.
to come.
I bet you were.
Let's try that again. Yeah, happy to be here.
We're gonna keep both versions. I think that's just how that's gonna work. Yeah, guys. So definitely be sure to follow us on our social media platforms, and we are starting to finally get clips to the YouTube channel. So you'll see those little clips
I'm the
and full
biggest
videos.
star.
And well, yes, you are the biggest star on the show in terms of volume.
I'm just a star.
So now you're just a star. Well, stars are still large.
By the way, we have to go over my contract.
Anyway, have a good one, guys. Thank you for and we'll be talking next week. Xbox events, yada yada yada.
Take care.
Thanks.